If you don't like history but still want to understand today's news, then this video is for you. The Middle East is a region that often dominates headlines, but the complexities behind the news can be overwhelming. Today, we're going to break it down in a way that's easy to understand. Let's break down proxy wars in the Middle East. These conflicts are not just about the countries directly involved. They are influenced by global powers with their own agendas. Imagine a chessboard, but instead of knights and pawns, you have countries and factions. Each move is calculated, and every piece represents a different interest or alliance. That's what Middle Eastern conflicts often look like. Take Syria, for example. The country has been embroiled in a brutal civil war for over a decade, with devastating consequences for its people. On one side, you have the Syrian government, backed by Russia and Iran. These allies provide military support, funding, and strategic advice to keep the regime in power. On the other, you have various rebel groups supported by the US, Turkey, and Gulf states. These external powers supply weapons, training, and intelligence to the opposition. Why do these outside powers care? The answer lies in a mix of strategic interests, regional influence, and geopolitical rivalries. It's all about influence and interests. The Middle East is rich in resources, particularly oil and gas, which are crucial for the global economy. Control over these resources translates to power. Russia and Iran want to keep their ally, Bashar al-Assad, in power. For Russia, Syria provides a strategic foothold in the region, including a naval base on the Mediterranean. For Iran, it's about maintaining a corridor of influence stretching to Lebanon. The US and its allies? They aim to counter that influence and support groups they see as more favorable to their interests. This often involves a delicate balance of diplomacy and military intervention. They aim to counter that influence and support groups they see as more favorable to their interests. This often involves a delicate balance of diplomacy and military intervention. These proxy wars aren't just about military might. They involve economic aid, weapons supplies, and even media campaigns. The battle for hearts and minds is as crucial as the battle on the ground. Yemen is another hotspot. The conflict here is often described as a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran, each backing different sides in the civil war. Here, Saudi Arabia leads a coalition against Houthi rebels, who receive support from Iran. The stakes are high, and the human cost is enormous. It's a regional power play that has devastating local consequences. The humanitarian crisis in Yemen is one of the worst in the world, with millions of people suffering from hunger and disease. So next time you hear about conflicts in the Middle East, remember this. It's not just about the countries directly involved. It's a complex web of alliances and rivalries that span the globe. It's a complex game with global players, each pushing their own agenda. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for making sense of the news. Understanding proxy wars helps us see the bigger picture. It reveals the hidden hands that shape events and influence outcomes far beyond the battlefield. And that's crucial for making sense of today's world. Stay curious, stay informed. See you next time.